Hey there, my name is Sarah Holger. I'm the project coordinator for Project Get Outdoors, and I'm just going to take you through a presentation to give a report on the Healing Forest Guide Immersion that was held at Eagle Bluff Environmental Learning Center April 10th through 14th, 2024. Project Get Outdoors is a small nonprofit located in Wabasha, Minnesota, and we focus on connecting kids to nature so that they grow to be healthy and they increase environmental stewardship behavior. I want to make sure to recognize the supporters of this immersion. We held it at Eagle Bluff Environmental Learning Center. I'm very thankful to that organization for the space and just being very cooperative with us because this was quite a process of getting this organized and planned and making sure everything went smoothly. So they were really great to work with and just a beautiful facility and great grounds. It's connected to a state forest area, and we just had a lot of land to explore, a lot of different ecosystems, and really just neat access to nature. The Association of Nature and Forest Therapy Guides is the organization that the training is through. And so we have worked with various funders and sponsors from around Minnesota to be able to support our cohort folks to get their guide certification training through this organization. And they sent out two trainers, one from Costa Rica and one from Los Angeles, California, to lead this immersion at Eagle Bluff. So that was really great to be able to work with those trainers in person. The Minnesota Department of Health, we were able to get some funding to help cover some of the cost of this immersion, and also from Olmsted County Public Health, Bluff Country Co-op, and My Energy Cooperative. So thank you to the folks that were able to help financially support this amazing experience. A shot of their dormitory, which is separated by some area classroom lounges, and then the rooms were, there was, I think, two sets of bunk or four sets of bunk beds, and then a bathroom sink area. You'll see some pictures in a minute. The lodging was it wasn't definitely not hotel lodging, but it was nice lodging. It wasn't bad. I'm showing one of those big lounge areas, classroom areas where we did a lot of our gathering and talking circles. Um, just a picture of the hallway in case you wanted to see what that looked like. They have a big board that they'll have like a liaison that's assigned to the group, and then they would come and like give updates. And our liaison actually was part of our cohort, so it was great. But there was updates that they shared each day, and then our immersion schedule, which was assembled by the two guides or the two trainers from the Association of Nature and Forest Therapy Guides, which I'll just say ANFT from here on out because it's a big jumbled up title. But it was pretty packed. We had a lot of hands-on activities where we were practicing what we were learning, so that was really great. So our trainers were Manuela Siegfried and Ben Page. Um, and yeah, they were incredible. They lead trainings all around the world, so it was a real privilege to have them come to Minnesota and lead this training for our group. This is what the cafeteria looks like. So it was kind of buffet style for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We did have a few different like school groups that were there while we were there, which was fine. Tables were assigned, and it wasn't an issue. It was actually really fun to see the kids and see how excited they were to be, on a field trip and experiencing nature. This is just an inside glimpse of what the rooms look like. So within each room, there's two separate bedrooms, and each of those bedrooms has two bunk beds. So our cohort was small enough that everybody got a bottom bunk, so it wasn't an issue. But we got to know each other real well. That was actually a great part of the experience too, just getting to know each other. So throughout the immersion, the trainers led a variety of different activities. The first full day, Manuela guided a forest therapy walk for the group. And so, yeah, the morning started out with a morning circle and just kind of how's everybody doing today? And then we transitioned into Manuela's walk. So this is just a butterfly I saw on the walk. And a lot of us, we were seeing butterflies. They were emerging for the first time in the spring. And I think everybody found some kind of symbolism in that they could relate to what was going on in their lives. I know I did personally. And so everybody was really excited to see the butterflies. Um, so Manuela led a beautiful walk that morning. It was a little chilly and it was really windy, and it was kind of funny because there was kids from the school that were staying at Eagle Bluff coming through to do geocaching. You can see in the upper right of this picture, there's a yellow box that was one of the geocaches, and we didn't realize where we were set up for our walk that we were right in the middle of a geocaching course. But it was fun. It was kind of fun to see the kids come through, and that created a good talking point about how to lead your walks in parks and places where there are going to be other people walking by and walking through, and you have to just learn to, work with the forest and work with what's coming at you, and embrace those encounters. So this was the final tea ceremony, where we were gathering at the end of the walk to do our final sharing. And Manuela is serving the tea here. And it was really neat because we were each given our own teacup that we could keep from the experience and add to our tea sets that we'll be using on our own walks. And so the tea ceremony is a really beautiful ceremony. It's the way we end every forest therapy walk. And that was taken from Shinrin Yoku and the practice in Japan. The tea ceremony is a very important part of the walk. So that evening, we went over the Healing Forest curriculum that has been drafted that I had actually been working on the last year or so, and trying out some of these activities with some of the schools that I work with. And so putting that curriculum into a template and actually sharing some of those activities with our cohort so that they can, begin kind of playing around with that curriculum and adapting it and figuring out what works well for them. And we hope to enhance that training. But we did put the curriculum online, so others can access it. So we were gathering in a separate classroom for that. We went through what's in the backpacks. Every cohort member got a Healing Forest backpack that comes with all sorts of just little tools and supplies that they can use to engage youth outdoors. So we have the medicine forest lesson plan that we went through, looking at how nature is medicine, like figuratively and literally, and not just for our body, but also for our mind and our spirit. And that was just another fun kind of bonding and really good dialogue, really good feedback from the cohort members. So going through the activities, sharing the resources in the backpack. Then the next morning was Ben's guided walk. It was once again another windy day, and it was neat. We used a completely different area of Eagle Bluff, a prairie and pine forest area for this walk. So this is just our gathering circle as Ben kind of welcomed us and kind of led us through the introduction to the walk. one of the activities that Ben offered in his walk um, was where we paired up with someone, and then we went out into the forest and we watched and just paid attention for the forest to offer a gift to us. And then we brought that gift back and exchanged it with our partner. And that was a really powerful activity, I think, for everybody because we had had a chance to already get to know each other over the course of a day. And so, in presenting those gifts to one another, there was some symbolism and meaning in what we had seen in the forest and thought would be a good gift for our partner. So, this is one that I was given, which made me laugh out loud because when I was a little kid, I was one of those that believed in fairies and little people and gnomes. And if you know anything about fairy lore, you have to look through a natural object that has a hole in it to be able to see the fairies. Unless a goblin spits in your eye, then you are given the gift of sight. But so I was given this, and I was like, oh my gosh, the forest is telling me, like, remember your childhood, remember that sense of wonder and play and exploration. And so I got a real kick out of my gift. It was pretty cool. This was our tea ceremony, our gathering for the conclusion of Ben's walk, our sharing circle. And that evening, Mary, who works at Eagle Bluff, who is also a part of our Healing Forest cohort, gave a raptor program. So that was really neat to learn a little bit more about the raptors and see them live in person. So she had a red tail hawk and an American kestrel. And a turkey vulture. And each of them had some sort of injury, or like the turkey vulture had imprinted on a human because it had been found on the ground when it was a baby, and the people thought they were helping it when actually, the parents were around and would take care of it. But it got taken from its parents when it was young, and it imprinted on the humans, and so it was too friendly with humans, and it wouldn't survive in the wild. But that was a really neat opportunity to learn more about these amazing birds, which we saw all of them around Eagle Bluff while we were there for this immersion. We saw them in the wild. The next morning, we had guided group walks where they did the day before a magic hat where you pulled out of a hat a paper and it told you what group you were going to be in and what part of a walk you were going to lead. And so then you had that evening to kind of figure out where you're going to lead your walk and kind of what you wanted to do for your portion of the walk. And the next morning, we went out and did those walks. And for a lot of these cohort members, it was a really kind of scary thing, right? Because they're guiding in front of their peers. They're still not quite done with their training yet, so they're still building up their confidence and their skills. So it was a really good practice, and it was a really safe space to practice in because everybody is very supportive and understands the process of these walks. So this is just showing our group that I was in, and they each had a turn to lead a section of the walk.
antibiotic, antibacterial system in the mouth and the throat, and so also for flu and cold. So have a very good property. And this central D for the air and gratitude for each of you. So feel welcome to. I will pass this cup around. Feel welcome to smell and see and make an offer for yourself or thank each of you.
Then that afternoon, we did a solo wander. So we had 3 hours to go off on our own and just be in nature, immerse in nature. And we were instructed if we came across another person to try to steer away from them, give them their space, not talk with them. We were each given a whistle so that if you heard somebody's whistle, that meant they needed help. But otherwise, if you heard screaming, if you saw someone crying, to leave them alone because this is their opportunity to um, kind of have their time in nature to just let it all out and engage with nature in whatever way feels right to them. So we started with a gathering and kind of instructions. And then you're going to see images and some footage of my solo wander over the 3 hours when I was out in the forest, what I found interesting and what I engaged with. This is a bird feeding station at Eagle Bluff. We gathered back together at the end for a sharing. It was a really neat experience because how often do you take 3 hours to go by yourself and just wander and sit in the woods? It was pretty cool. We had our graduation ceremony that evening, And so our red tail cohort was invited into the cedar fort. um, and they had a kind of a quiet time together to just bond.
The deer.
Do you want to receive the certificates for the
And our final share, the very last day, we got to go out and do a little sit spot and bring back a gift from the forest. And then we kind of assembled all those gifts we found into a collage, a work of art that represented our time together that last 4 days. A lot of emotional goodbyes at the end. People didn't want to leave, and we kind of in the final sharing circle really reiterated like this isn't an ending. This is a beginning. Like we are all connected to each other now in a really deep, powerful way with this set of skills and this new knowledge to really help connect children to nature in a powerful, powerful way that can transform them and help with healing from traumas and some of those mental health challenges that have been plaguing our children the last decade. So we're all very excited to work together and find ways to weave this practice into the work that we do with children. So thank you so much again for supporting our project and the work that we're trying to do. And you can learn more about the Healing Forest Project. We have set up a Google site website. So you can see the address there, the web address there. You can also get to that through the Project Get Outdoors webpage by clicking on children and families and then Park RX. And then on that page is a link to the Healing Forest Project. So feel free to reach out to me with any questions or um, suggestions or ideas. Um, so Sarah, Sara dot Grover, Grover @ yahoo.com. Thanks again.